I'm thirsty for foam, public parks where I roam, as a foam blasting gangster like Al Capone. Got a glass full of darts, take it straight to the dome. I like those high-speed blasters that rattle your bones. I'm thirsty for foam. Hey guys, it's Danny, thirsty for foam. Today we're gonna do an unboxing on the Dart Zone Tomcat. We're also going to do a little mod review as well, because I have more than one. But yeah, let's get into it. And this is might be my first unboxing. At least on camera. One more. Let's see. I'm going to look done here. Get to all the tape. And there's some of the YouTubers have a fancy knife. I'm just using my snips. Modded try to have some snips. Alright. Let's see what we got here. So we've got the manual and stuff. If you want to look at that. I'm not. Some Dart Zone stuff. Do not return to store. Some different dart types, which is kind of cool. But I'm not much for decorations and keeping stuff safe with that stuff. So let's set that to the side on the ground where I think it belongs. As you can see here, we got the drum, the front muzzle attachment, some of the Target Max darts, the stock. The scopes, which I think are the iron sights, I think are actually pretty cool. Not super accurate, but it gives you a good feel to where you can just kind of get a feel for iron sighting. And I actually prefer iron sights myself. So let's see if we can get this open. Muzzle here. Really enjoying my new indoor mod space. Shooting videos though, you're gonna hear some toilets flush, some banter from my children, people yelling at the dog or the cat. But that is the nature of family life. Alright, I got a drum free, got front muzzle free. Let's see if I can get the main blaster free. I was just going to do a mod overview, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to do my first unboxing and do like a comparison video. And also, I guess since this is the second one I'm opening, I'm doing a little QC quality control Dart Zone right here, right now, to see if we're hitting consistent results. Was the first one I unboxed. So the first one I did unbox, I did get a stock reading before I modded it, of course, just to see where it was at. And I was getting like 170s pretty consistently. Every once in a while it seemed like it had either a slight seal issue or something, where it would hit a low of about 155, but for a stock blaster, can you really complain about a 155 low? Because all my other shots are hitting 170s. I don't think I had any hit 180, but let's see. Got it all in box. I'm not going to hold it up on camera the way I have my camera set up. I'm just going to yank this stuff off out the box and put it together. Let's see, so we got the front muzzle attachment, which my modded one does not have. I've heard some people say the stock on Tomcat they're not a big fan of, saying that it's shaky. I mean, it's got some wiggle, if I'm going to hold it like this. I mean, as far as functionality, safety. think it's pretty solid, to be honest. You know, I like the little cheek rest that comes on it. You know, I think it feels nice in general. I mean, it's not padded, but I mean, it's a toy that performs. Anyways, let's see. Let's throw on these attachments. I think the sights are actually really cool. Again, they're not super pinpoint, just because I mean it's got a big area for aiming. You know, and that's a tall bridge on that. Anyways, the viewpoint on it's pretty good. You know, especially if you're gonna. I probably want to extend it more. Especially if you're gonna aim with two eyes. You know, I will aim with my left eye. I mean my right eye. Pretty often, depending on the profile of the blaster. The drum loads up pretty easy. I have a drum with some ammo in it. Of course, you will have to prime the blaster to get the drum in. And then you just kind of match up the little plastic parts, little divots here. Sometimes if it doesn't go in, just make sure your priming bar is back, and it will have a little bit of a snap to it when it goes into place. And it's easier than I'm making it look. I'm trying to show you on camera and hold it at a certain angle as well. Anyways, let's see. Trying to get it to where I got a dart loaded up. Yep, it works. Let me grab my chronograph. I did have a drum for my other one. My other one has a Talon adapter. We'll look at that in a second, but I went ahead and threw some used darts in it. Let me grab the chronograph, get some numbers. With this, I'm going to go ahead and take the front muzzle attachment off so I can get this closest to the initial velocity out of this barrel. Lined up the starts. So yeah, I guess I didn't think about the direction of the rotation. $170. Now I'm looking at it. This blaster does have a tendency to skip barrels. That will hit the side, they're bad. If you do a good deliberate prime, usually it's not an issue. 174. My dog whining. I'll take you out in a second. 167, I think I hit the side on that one again. $170.5. So it's pretty consistent with my other one sitting out of the box. 163. I hit the side again though. So I'm not aiming so well. Hopefully I'll do better with the modded one. But yeah, 170s out of the box. I mean, how can you really beat that? Drum fed, 50 darts, and then you know, when we're talking about the high end, what can you do to it modded? Here, let's see some of the numbers here. You can see where I hit it on accident. I think I got an 80 something. I really don't know if that's focusing that well, but we'll just have to trust it. All right. So from there, that's our stock Tomcat. And from there, we have our modded Tomcat. So things I did to it was Talon adapter. I ordered some Foamdemic. I also ordered this stubby grip from Foamdemic because I thought that the drop handle was cool, but the drop handle also adds a verticality where you tend to put pressure and and make it like kind of angle it, where you might be pressing stress on the priming bar in a wrong forceful direction as to getting it to a straight back. So the priming action, I think, on a slant, especially a low profile one like this, even the full caliber one, is actually, really nice. So, anyways, my seal is not great on this. I really didn't do anything to the stock plunger seal. I could try to increase it, but then you'll get that vacuum seal, and then that's where I'll have to play with a notch. And then that notch on this pusher, as you can see, it's not a traditional pusher. So there's no like O-ring on the actual pusher piece that's normally a little further back. This front piece actually connects into an O-ring in there, in the breech. And so making a little notch on the end of this could possibly affect the seal, since the flat end of this is just going straight into an O-ring. So that is my concern was doing that. So I kind of like the stock seal. It's not bad. It's not perfect. It does its job. Again, I'm one that, as long as the plunger seal is fairly good and not perfect always, you're getting good plunger speed. So if you get good plunger speed, a lot of times you'll get good performance, as long as you get enough forceful air out of it. Is it maximized? Maybe, maybe not. I have a ton of blasters that perform pretty well, and they're not 100% sealed. Anyways, let's load up. I've got a myriad of used darts. Got a couple Worker HE or HE2s or Gen 3, whatever they're called, with the orange head and the red body. So we'll get a couple of those going. I'm gonna power this off, power it back on, get some fresh numbers here. Now, I'm using a polycarb barrel on this mod. I did 11 inches, I believe. I got my foam demic scar. It's pretty standard for a lot of my mods, just because they're cheap and they work well and they don't produce a lot of drag. Drop it on this. So I think I have, I have the first dart loaded up. This is a worker dart, 205. Yeah, I think so. And I think this is another worker dart. I don't have a lot of them. I just scavenged some used ones from some events up on to 189. Again, these worker darts will probably be the ones that hit the lowest. I think the foam is just a little better than just the barreling material I use. It might be slightly heavier too. So now I think this is a Target Max Dart 214. Another Target Max Dart. Another one of those. These are used darts. They're not fresh. I think I was maxing out in the 220s. Oh, here's a 221. And a used dart. I got you, puppy. I'm gonna take you out soon. 214. Something looks like I'm hitting the teens to a low 220. Not a huge variance. These are used darts, so I find a polycarb sometimes does well and use a low of a 207 on a max dart. I'll do one more, and then I got some Walmart Pro darts here. 206. Maybe those are a little more used than those ones. Alright. Again, these are cool too if you don't have any of these. So I got this one filmed out as well. Alright, just like that it says it on there. Alright, so on to the Walmart darts. Starts around like that. 188. Now I find the Walmart darts, when they're used, they're really used. Like they lose a lot of performance. 206. And it's funny because when they're brand new, they work really, really well. 203. So it's looking more and more like this. My Tomcat is definitely optimized for the Target max darts. Ooh, 179. I need some new Walmart darts, I think. Alright. So anyways, that's my mod here. Oh, K25. That's a spring I use. I forgot to mention that. I don't remember how many coils. I think I saw a European nerfer use 20 centimeters, and I didn't want quite that much of a spring load. So I did about 18 centimeters, I think, is what I measured out on the K25. I didn't really look at how many coils it was. It was actually already pre-cut. That's another reason why I just threw it in there. I had one about 18 centimeters just lying on the table, so I threw it in, and that's what I'm getting. If you want to get a little more, again, I think I saw someone use about 20 centimeters, I think you can get in there. And I did try to use a spacer, and it was unsuccessful to get a cat to catch, but it was also a spacer meant for a Conquest Pro or a Dictator. So I think they do have also spacers for these. If you're not comfortable cutting out for your own barrel and attachment, Foamdemic also makes a ghost reach where you can put brass in it, which is really cool. I don't know if she has one that is meant for 5/8 inch outer diameter barrels like this, but if you're interested in doing a barrel like this, either aluminum or just polycarb here, all you have to do is, I don't have the front attachment that I can put on here anymore, but inside there's like a little lip that holds the original barrel in. I just take a regular hobby knife like this, and I just kind of grind it out around the inside of it till this tube fits through. And then inside of that area, the recessed area where the barrel tube comes out, that's a black O-ring in there, just from a miscellaneous O-ring pack from the hardware store. I just shove it in there and keep the barrel centered and good in there, so it won't move out of place. But yeah, what do I think of the Tomcat? I think the Tomcat is pretty cool. Out of the box, it is really, really hard to beat. If you're not into modding, I mean, a stock Tomcat I just showed you is hitting 170s. You don't have to do anything to it. Comes with a 50 round drum. I did mention that you may skip some barrels, but you're not going to notice for a while because it's double stacked and it's a whole bunch of rounds. But yeah, I really do love the Tomcat, stock out of the box. I don't think there's one, you can spend more money and get an MK 1.2 and do the couple fixes that you need to do on that, which really aren't hard to do. And that makes that an excellent stock blaster, hitting 200 out of the box. On the upside of modding, to be honest, my preference is the Dictator. Wish I had one laying around. I have it out in the garage, but the Dictator for me, I don't have to switch to anything for Talon mags, which is my preference. And again, this adapter only takes Talon mags. The Dictator will take pretty much any aftermarket short dart mag that you throw in it, whether it be Katana, Dark Zone, or Talon. And I have all three, so I can use any mags on it that I need to. I don't have to buy any 3D printed parts, to get it to be like that. My preference. And the overall upside to the performance, I think I was getting a little more. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think the draw length on the Tomcat is a little bit shorter than the Dictator. Because I think with the Dictator I'm getting a little bit more power and I'm able to put just a little bit more spring in there, it feels like. It's all pre-compressed at the end of the day, but if it does have a little bit more of a draw, that means it's gonna
it's going to be able to force more air through. But again, I don't know the specific measurement. I just know from experience modding them and then seeing the results. But New Year is upon us pretty soon. I thought I'd get another video out of the way. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a Happy New Year. I hope all of you are doing well and find some time to enjoy this wonderful hobby. Y'all have a good night.